What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Welcome to the lounge, man. I don't do this live thing much, but I was told I should do more of these, so I'm gonna do some things. We're gonna talk about the diaspora war, people. We're gonna talk about the diaspora wars. Hold on, man. I got all kinds of people buzzing, buzzing out here. What's up? Hollering at me. I do. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, man. Thank you for hanging out at the lounge, man. If you found your way in, we're gonna talk about the diaspora wars, man. Oh, I like this, but let me end this right now, man. Welcome again, everybody. Welcome again. Welcome to the lounge, man. So, if you've been walking around these internet streets, you see the hot debates are still going, whether it's Nolan Wells, whether it's still, man, I guess we got over Carmelo Anthony, but I guess it's Nolan Wells now, and then the diaspora wars, they rage on. And again, what is the diaspora wars, people? That's this new battle going on, which, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be fair, because I like to look at myself as the intelligent FBA. And I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be all over the place in this discussion, but it's going to come from truth. It's going to come from real introspection. It's not going to come from emotion. It's not going to come from anger. It's going to come from at least my experiences and some of my tools in life. Now, before you question, I brought some of my friends with me, the only friends I trust, and these are my books. Just some of the books that I've delved into to come up with some of the concepts and thoughts, as well as my own personal experiences. I thought I'd share some of these things with you. This is a book called Imperialism and Human Rights, written by an African, okay? And it speaks about the Belgium, but it's also very, very deep book, and it actually doesn't go along with a lot of things a lot of people think. Also, let's go on here. What do I have here? If I look in here, this is I can't believe I can't figure out this is De La Casas. These are writings by De La Casas, which is a I believe it's like during the conquistador time, Spanish monk came here documenting the experiences with Spanish conquering the Americas at that time, at least the South America. And I'm looking in here. I'm gonna have to put my reading glasses on. I can't be cool today, people. I need to read, bro. I need to read. Let's do it. Let me get my reading glasses on. We're gonna get deep, man. When the Gemini put the reading glasses on, it gets serious, man. Okay. Eduardo Vivieros de Castro. Okay. And I'm looking as what I wrote in here. I got all kinds of writings in here. And one thing I wrote is not a monolith, page 92. Okay, I wonder and I don't know if you can see, but I'm all in these books. But let's go to 92. I'm just curious. What was I thinking? 1992. Huh. What did I read? Okay. Okay, this is dealing with like cannibalism and how some tribes in South America did practice cannibalism. Okay. But that wasn't a monolith. I guess that's what I was talking about there. But that's one of the other books. Another interesting book is The Caribbean, Colombia. So I put a little effort and energy into trying to understand what was going on in Colombia. Let's keep going. Where are we? Ah, for my Spanish people, Afro-Latin America, 1800 to 2000. Okay. You see, I put a little energy and effort into this book too. And I'm not saying this to say I'm the smartest man in the room. I'm just trying to say I'm probably smarter than you, whoever is about to say something. Not everybody. There's some real intellectuals here that I'm willing to listen and learn. And if you got a real point to make with me, please share it. But you idiots that never read a book, talk about that's white man learning. I don't want to talk to you. Don't talk to me. This is actually a very hard book to read, and I often bring it up. It's called The Black Atlantic. Okay. And this is really what it's about. But y'all too stupid to read this, too stupid to understand and digest it. 99%, including myself. I really, it took me a long. Each sentence is like a battle to get through. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But it's written by Paul Gilroy, a black man, Jamaican, Oxford. Another perspective. He says a lot of things in here I don't agree with. I don't like. Like he tries to attribute hip hop to Caribbean culture. He's one of these kind of Pan African. But see, this is where I want to argue intelligent people can understand that things can be complicated. That you can disagree on one thing and agree on another thing. A lot of you don't seem to get that in today's time. But this title, The Black Atlantic, Modernity and Double Consciousness. You guys often heard of double consciousness from W.E.B. Du Bois. Very powerful concept that we definitely have been dealing with, and now we're dealing with it on a diaspora level, which gets even crazier. Another book I like to delve into is a book called Guns, Germs, and Steel. I delve into this book, and if you see, it has a whole section on Africa. Okay, and it breaks down. I don't know, let me make sure. How even within Africa, there are different groups of African people. They do not unite as one group of people called Africans. They don't. That is a fantasy that the progressives and the politicians have sold us. They address the the issue. These are different types of Africans, but they all in they're in. Well, actually, these might be Australians, Aboriginals in Australia. See, but they'll claim these are sub-Saharan Africans the same as they are from some. This is the ridiculousness that's going on in the FBA. Which, after I get through this, I'm going to address these issues. Looking at a man from New Guinea. Okay, a man from New Guinea has different genetic markers and features that actually that's his what his culture is. That's who he is as a man. He's not just under this one big black umbrella. It doesn't work that way. The only one seeming to want to push that is ignorant Western Americans, and that comes from our own insecurities, from the idea that we were taken from a land. I'm thankful for it today, but it can be a little bit, I'm sure, to anybody that when you're removed, let's say a child is removed from some poverty stricken home in the ghetto and they're brought to some rich person's home. At some point that child, no matter how much better their lives have been because of that change, they're going to want to they're going to fantasize about what is what they think is real, meaning their real culture. That's all that's happening here. We're like a child that was brought, it was a traumatic event that removed us from the family. It was our own family kicking us out, and a whole new group of people who were not family taking us in under horrible circumstances. So there is trauma in that experience, but make no mistake, we got the better end of the deal in the long run. And I don't care how that sounds to you. Our ancestors suffered horribly for us to have this opportunity that many of you, through your anger and through your refusal to accept modernity, let's go back to that word, modernity. The world changes, issues change, circumstances change. If you keep living mentally and spiritually in your trauma, you'll never get out of it. You'll never get out of it. And it's sad that more therapists and so-called psychologists don't say that more. Let's keep going through my book list because I want to get to my topic at some point. If anybody's watching, I doubt it. So I have another book on insurgent Cuba. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. I studied the Cuban War in 1868 through 1898. And you can see, man, I'm all in this book, man. I don't rip this book to shreds, man. This is where I found out Maceo. Some of I found heroes in this story, in this experience of learning about the not the Fidel Castro one, the original one. Let's go to another book that I've delved into, which was very interesting. I want you to look at the title. This is from the Harlem Renaissance era. This is from a, I don't know if my camera is active. This is from a man named Claude McKay. All of you Black History um, degree people, like the Harlem Renaissance, you would know who this man is. Open LGBTQ, one of the first. His title is Code Name Sasha, Queer, Black Marxism, and the Harlem Renaissance. Now, he didn't write this, somebody wrote it, this Gary Edward Holcomb. But this is also a very fascinating book that delves into the psyche of Black Americans and our experiences in the Americas, and even our running and our dealing with the modernity, the issues of the present brought to us by Europeans. And that's why I love the concept of the Black Atlantic, because it really tells how what we was once, maybe during the slave trade, during the that's not who we are today. We are now a kind of a creation of the experiences of the homeland of Africa, Europeans, which is the foundation of this kind of white spreading, and the Americas, where the experiment took place, where the real experiment of equality and freedom and choice. And it isn't a thing that it happens on day one, it's a process. And that's what a lot of, that's why I can't mess with my people, my FBA people, because they don't understand the process. They don't trust the process. But what about when they were used to kick me and they used to put the hose on me? Yeah, it's part of the process. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying today they don't do that to you. Today your children ain't gonna never see nothing like that unless you fools bring it back with your behavior, your attitudes. Let's keep going. One of the most important books I came across. This is The Slave Trade, International Human Rights. Okay. Jenny Martinez, very powerful book to me. One of the most powerful books to make me open my eyes. And I hope you can see some of the markings to show that these books have been read. I am no LeBron James. The books have been read. They're not just cracked. You're not going to find me on page one. And even my page one has notes all over it. I write in all my books. I write everywhere because I forget, and I want to be reminded of that moment of what I was thinking and whether my thoughts have changed. That's education, people. It's not going to school and just being told what to do. It's it's coming together with thoughts, checking them, battling, arguing them, seeing if they hold up to the test of time and the test of people breaking your argument down. That's the process that we've now given up. But this book taught me about the role of the British really in stopping slavery, stopping Africans from doing business with other Europeans who wanted to continue the process of slavery. The British were running around like Superman in the oceans, man, just looking for a ship with some slaves on it. They were freeing the slaves. And if you could make it to Britain or one of these European places, man, way before we were even as Americans thinking about ending slavery, or any Africans, which some of those places still ain't ended. The British were like, yo, if you make it to homeland, it was like base. Remember when we used to play tag or freeze tag? Or maybe what was it? When you could go to somewhere and there was a base, they couldn't tag you. That's what Britain was for a long time. We talk about the Civil War, but how many books have you read on the Civil War? This is one of my favorite professors. A lot of liberal professors do not like him. His name is Eric Foner. Okay, he preaches more. See, when you go to college, they want to force it down your throat that you are only to regurgitate that that the Civil War was fought to free the slaves. That's it. It had no other reason. I've often thought that was BS, and I've argued that in front of professors in class, and I've caught the flack for it because I'm not regurgitating what they want me to say. This book here, Eric Foner preaches basically that um, it was economic reasons. He talks about industrialization having a large impact on why the Civil War was fought. So This is definitely more of a conservative professor. And again, for those of you that may be watching, I see it's not a lot. I'm just going through some of the books that I have read that help when I talk about some of these issues that we speak about. I don't want it to sound like I'm just another dude running my mouth like a lot of people are. There's another book, Quicksands in Passing, very deep book. Passing. The issue of identity crisis has been a big issue in the black community. It's always been an issue. There's no way you can like overlook the trauma of being enslaved for hundreds of years and being degraded and looked down upon and think that that's not going to have some serious psychological effects on you, on your children, on your community. So even think this book here, Quicksands in Passing, this book highlights how a lot of people, even right after slavery and during, they chose to try to pass. And we still have that issue going on a lot of places in Black America where you want to get as light as you can, you want to get as white as you can. In certain Caribbean places like Jamaica, I believe they use the cake soap. Like it's a huge issue. And again, I'm not here to talk bad about anyone. I'm here more to point out that we have some deep psychological, traumatic issues that are going on in our communities that we're not addressing. Here's another book written by Dr. Eric Williams. This is a prime minister of Trinidad. This is documents of West Indian history. I've read this, and you can see I've dug into this book as well. If it shows up the highlights, what I love about this book is basically all of the writings of Christopher Columbus, his personal diary. Like so, instead of people telling you what to think, you can just go read. They wrote it down. All right, and lastly, it's just the age of extremism. This is just a typical history book going over all of the big issues in the history in the like since World War II. We have liberalism, we have the Cold War, we have the cultural revolutions, blah blah blah. So let's get to today. I don't drop my papers. All right, let's get to today. Today we here for FBA versus the diaspora. That's why we're here. And I just wanted to give you some background. Oh, how could I forget my other book? Before I put the books away, the book that got me in trouble with everybody, this book here on the Haitian Revolution, this book here called The Avengers of the New World. I made some comments about the Haitian Revolution not being about freeing black slaves and black people. It was really about elite Haitians. What do we call those? I forget what you call the elite Haitians. But even if you talk to most Haitians today, they'll tell you like there is that. The I forget the term they use, but let's get to today. So all of that has led up to this thing called FBA versus the diaspora. And I'm going to break this down into the good, the bad, and the ugly. And guess what, people? The ugly are kind of the same for both sides. That's what I broke it down to. So let's first talk about the good. Let's talk about the good. For FBA, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna lose a lot of FBA people today, but it don't matter because, like we say, FBA, or like I say, FBA is not a gang. It's not supposed to be a gang. It's just a group of individual people who come from the same kind of history and background culture. That's all FBA is. We are not a gang, and that's my first. I'm sorry. I should stop with that. I want to. That's for the bad. I'm gonna still stick with the good. The good is these are my people. This is my family. This is my mother. This is my aunts. This is my uncles. These are my cousins. These are the dudes I grew up with. This is family. I know when I go other places around the world and I run into any really black person, but specifically my people, there is this weird sense of, okay, all right, I got another one with me. Well, that's what the FBA is, okay? So it's when I think of FBA, I don't see it the way a lot of you modern or you new people see it. I see it more as when blackness was really black. You see, I'm making an argument as a 51-year-old man. Yeah, as a what the kids call me Unc, but I think I'm OG. As a 51-year-old man, I feel like blackness died out around 2010. Like there was no real FBA blackness left. We had already been turned into this big brown pot of brownness by the Democratic Party, by a lot of our politicians, by these NAACP dudes, by these rainbow coalitions. We knew that was suspect with the name right off the jump. where all of a sudden we were African Americans. I remember this battle in the 80s. I remember it. I was young, but I remember it. I remember it distinctly and clearly that I did not want to be called an African American in the 80s. I remember having this darn argument as a young boy. So this is not new. And again, who made us African Americans? Jesse Jackson. There's always been this weird relationship with Africa and with the Caribbean, with me and my people as FBA. And it goes back. This is not new. Hold on, guys. My grandmother, my parents, my grandparents, my family, these are, I've looked it up. We are Petey River Gullah Geechee. And our bloodlines trace back and running around South Carolina and Georgia into the 1640s. We here before America is a country. We're here 100 and some years before this country is even actually a country. When it's still British colonies, where the French are running around grabbing up land, Spanish running around, when the Europeans are running around snatching up pieces of it. We're here. And I don't mean just we as in black FBA. I mean me, my bloodline. Whatever's running through my veins was running around this land in 1640. That's important to me. That's important to me. I don't look at myself as a first generation, as a second gen. And I get it, but when white people used to do this to black people, you guys would say they being racist to you. But look at us today, and that's going to be my problem with the FBA. That's going to be my problem. This hypocrisy that's going on lately. I don't like it. I don't like hypocrites. Even if you don't like the argument, you got to stand on it, man, to make it make sense. So that's the good with my people. Okay, they're my people. They're going to be my people, whether I like it or not. I'm always going to side with them. Well, let's hold that one for later. Now, let's talk about the diaspora. Now, the diaspora is basically immigrants. And I'm going to keep it very real with you. If you go back to when I first started YouTube, which isn't that long ago, it was maybe 2 years ago. I started YouTube 2 years ago. And it's been a horrible experience, but at least allows me to present my argument to the world. I make videos about how I actually prefer being around immigrant people than I do Black Americans. I prefer being around them. The dating experiences I've had with not to see, I'm going to point that out too. Today, the immigrants we get today, they no different than the YNs we birthed in America. Everybody's the culture is the internet. You're not Jamaican anymore. You're not Jamaican. You're not this. It doesn't mean anything. Everything is a ratchet form on the internet. But back to the old days. Back to the old days when I used to think immigrants, I would rather be around them. They represented more of what I thought a community should look like. I've always thought it. I've always been a little bit, I'm not going to say jealous, but I've always been a little bit envious. I guess that is jealous, huh? I'll be one of the first FBAs to say it. I'll say what the FBAs won't say out loud. They know our families have been destroyed through, and I know theirs have too, but we know ours have. We know us, me and you, FBA sister, FBA brother. We watched what drugs and crack and all of these things did to our communities. We watched it. We watched how we kind of groveled on our own over here. We watched how everybody kind of disconnected from us. Same poor people like us, they start disconnecting from us. We watched it. So growing up, we're watching people from other cultures who supposedly look like us. And supposedly we're thinking that. And that's the foolishness that was pushed on us. That's not their fault. They never agreed to that deal, the immigrants. They never came. Well, they did take advantage when they saw that they could get some, like there was advantages to it, but they never came here like, yo, we want to do the things y'all do. They came here on some American dream. And I'm going to talk about that when we get to the bad. And that's partly the bad. But I will say the Caribbean culture, the African culture, even today, I find them to be a lot more conservative, a lot more like decent than what I'm seeing out of my own darn community. And I don't care how y'all feel about it. It is the truth. It is the truth. Our communities are just disgusting. We're more like white people, but see, that's the thing. I don't mind embracing that. We're Americans. We're not Africans, bro. Who's the majority of Americans is white people, and people who I want to be like white people, whether that's Asians. We're not coming here as other cultures. That's not the game plan. And you think you're being like rebellious in a way that's productive by saying, yo, I'm a deny my Americanness. No, you are American. Your culture is made up of those Europeans, plus you. You added to it. That's what I'm saying. It's a pot. We all added to this thing called America. We added hip hop. We added dance, culture, music. But we also got a lot of that from them same Europeans that we now try to say like we ain't like y'all. We like Africans. They not doing like what we. They're not doing the music we're doing. They're not. You people are silly. You're silly. You're very silly. So in a lot of ways, immigrant culture is they work harder. They take more advantage of things. They do. They do. As a Black American FBA, I am not ashamed to it. I am ashamed to admit it, but I won't be like I won't be a sycophant. I won't be a like I won't be in the gang. I'm going to tell the truth. Now the bad. Oh God, the bad. So we're going to do the bad of the FBA. There's so much ignorance in my group. I was just on running around TikTok a little bit ago, and that's what made me do this video. Was that I was on TikTok and I was just seeing like there was these FBA groups and these sites, and all they were doing it was like the most ignorant person you can find leading the discussion. It was just a bunch of FBA, which I'm a part of, proudly, but not proud to be with them. They were just ignorantly just attacking everyone. And it just was an embarrass. I was getting side embarrassed by just their presence. Everything about them just made me feel embarrassed. Okay. I'm sitting there like they're not making intelligent arguments. Okay. This is my group. They're saying stupid things like that Africans were already in the Americas before the slave trade. There is legitimately no type of evidence in the history of the world. Listen, I'm going to talk to my people, Black people. Listen, let me tell you something. When we go to these academic institutions that you just think is some white man hustle, you have to realize when we're on these institutions and these big ones, it's peer reviewed, and the peers aren't just white people. They're Japanese, they're Asians, they're Africans, they're all kinds of people involved in what we call academia. In your little simple mind, you just envision some big white man at the top giving out all, like rewriting all the books to say exactly what he wants it to say. It's very childish and it's very embarrassing. And this is what I mean by the ignorance spread amongst my group. You reject the very knowledge. Listen, there are people who hate America, but still send their children here to be educated by our system. Now, of course, and here's the other thing. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's say there is some truth to what a lot of Black Americans feel about education and the rewriting of history, which I agree. There's always a touch to that. Yeah, the winners always write history. We know that. We know that, people. That don't mean there's not any truth in it. That don't mean that you reject what everybody in the world is begging to have and you have it right at your lap and you like, nah, that's some white man stuff. I ain't doing that. He lying. Christopher Columbus ain't do that. Listen, whether you like him as a hero or not, it was written, and it was written based on documented events. How you want to interpret the event is how you want to write a book, sell it. That's the beauty of this country. You can't do that everywhere in the world. You can't do that at every point in history. You can't just write down your thoughts and sell it. They come looking for you. In America, you can do that, but instead of doing that, you want to complain and tell the whole world to rewrite everything they've done because your simple behind is upset. Most of you that are arguing, and this is no, I'm not trying to be one of these elitist degree people, but when I say degrees, it means at least I had to read a few books. I had to. It is documented that I did. Where's your documentation that you've read anything? That you've done any type of argument, you've had any type of like real substantial disagreement and argument about the subject matter. Where's that been other than chilling on the block with a 40? This is most of the dudes that are on this internet. And that's what I'm saying. When I go to the FBA room, that's what I see is some ignorant woman or some emotional man screaming and ranting about how we ain't no Africans. We don't come from Africa, bro. We do. We do. We do. And I don't consider myself an African. I'm a proud American. But you'd be stupid to deny that we came from Africa, you fool. There's so much documentation. You think the white man got that much power? Oh, I forgot. We're dealing with the gooch, the invisible bully. I forgot about that. Y'all scared of invisible bullies all the time, man. But you think the whole world put together this history? Listen, I know. You know who was my in grad school. One of my history professors, he was an open communist that probably hated white people more than you, black man. This is some commie white boy from New York. Cool dude too. I loved him. That was my dude. Me and him had one-on-one classes because me and him both didn't get along with all of the feminists in the university. But this commie professor, who believe me, his hero was John Brown. He wouldn't even do anything history pre 1865. I mean, post 1865. He thought that was all bullcrap. He only wanted to talk about pre 1865 and before, all the greatness that led up. He put me onto it. And his whole angle was the power in blackness and how blackness changed the world. And that's what I'm preaching. But you didn't take that class, yo. You didn't take that class. You was chilling on the block. You was chilling with the homies. You was smoking the L. You was like getting your rap game together. You was running the block. You was hustling. You was bagging mad chicks, bro. You stayed fresh. You was one of them dudes. When did you learn about colonialism? When did you learn that? What Tariq Nasheed YouTube video taught you about your history? Shout outs to Tariq Nasheed. I'm glad. Listen, I've been whatever we calling ourselves FBA, but I've been this thing way before. When y'all was still Pan Africanists, man, I was already like, this Pan African thing. This feel like a hustle. This feel like a hustle. And I was right. I was right 15 years ago. But believe me, I was just like y'all. I was out there with dashikis on, right? Tiger lion claws around my neck, all that weak stuff. I think I was just trying to bag chicks. That's another angle. But so yeah, my community is just full of a lot of ignorant people. They're pushing narratives like because some Van Sertima before Columbus. And I knew about this book 20 years ago. I remember when I was in college 25 years ago. I remember like going into these books, into these realms, looking for answers, the secrets. Because I grew up in New York as a 5%er. I already grew up like with the idea that the black man is God. You know, I grew up with these whole concepts of like supreme mathematics and like everything was always like beyond the illusion to me as a New York kid growing up in the 80s and the 90s. We all wanted to graduate from 5%ers to Moorish science temple to maybe we become a nation of Islam, or maybe we become an Israelite. You know, maybe we just get real freaky and become an Egyptian. We just become the rebirth of a pharaoh. Maybe some of us just go on and just start our own new movement. Maybe some of us run to foreign countries and we bring all the idiot women over there and we start a cult. Those are all the possibilities in blackness in my FBA group because we are a group that has no foundation and we've been rejecting the only foundation that we do have, which is America. We have no other country, and that doesn't mean for the Caribbeans and all of the others that like you're winning, bro. We over here rejecting the baddest dude on the block, like the tough guy. We over here getting courted, being wined and dined and begged and pleaded, and we spitting in the face of the richest dude on the block. He coming to us every day, like, come work for us, bro. Like, yo, bro, work with us, man. Forget them people. He come every day begging to work with us. And we like, nah, bro, get off our block, bro. That's what we telling them. Get off our block. Yeah, I know. Y'all gonna reduce me to a coon and a sellout. So now let's talk about the bad of the immigrant groups. And this is a big one to me. I guess because this is not their country. But they really have no ties to the history, to the land, to the culture, to the people. They're just here to get money. And whenever I'm dealing with immigrant cultures, everything seems to come down to just an exchange of money. Everything, love, interactions, friendships, everything is based on, do you have something that I need? This is where that tether thing comes from. And I actually don't think it's something that they do personally. Like, I don't even know if they're aware of how it comes across. Maybe I'm being too nice. Maybe they are very aware of it. But it comes across as very ugly. Imagine me coming up into Haiti or Jamaica and everything that I come in there. I don't come to talk and be like, hey, how you doing today? Hey, you need some help with something? What you guys do? I'm not coming there grateful to the people, but I'm coming there just always talking about how I can make a profit. that's kind of some of the issues I think foundational Black Americans have noticed with with like immigrant cultures that have been around us, and that we've been just too afraid to say that out loud. That yeah, money's important, it's very important, but you can see in the Black American culture where we're very stubborn. Like we're willing to give up the money for our stance, for what we believe in. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I know it's a thing. So when we do look at other immigrant cultures who rightfully so, they're here for their survival, they're here trying to get their money, they're trying to send home money to the other family, but we're looking at it like we trying to understand like well then what, you just here to just get over, you're just here to get take stuff and go, then why should I interact with you? So I'm just trying to point out some of the things that separate the Black Americans from the immigrant cultures. Now, a lot of Democrats, they try to force it together through Africa, but even that has slowly, that fake kind of sewing together is, the seams are falling apart of that, because I think Black Americans finally realize that there's no win in this idea of we're all one. Because whenever we do the we all one thing, we seem to be the bottom one in the group, and I'm going to talk about that. That's some of the bad about us. We're not progressing. If you go to my channel, I just did a video on like what we were talking about in 1975 and 1967. I was talking about in Miami. I just did a video where they interviewing Black Americans in Miami in 1975 when they're dealing with the Cubans and the Haitians. This was back then, 1975, 19. It's always been the same issue, and they're making the same argument. Yet today, those groups are still here, and they're in communities that are thriving more than the actual foundational Black Americans. That's not their fault. That's our fault. But when you have simpleton people rejecting knowledge, rejecting education, saying everything is just a white man's thing and we ain't going to do it, we're not going to build banking systems and businesses and shop on our own, because we also have been kind of indoctrinated at the same time by the Democratic Party, who told us there's only one enemy, and that's the YT man. He didn't even tell us the YT woman. The Democratic Party just tells you the YT man is your enemy, even while the YT woman is his wife, his daughter is, but you still women. So there's that feminism thing that ties y'all together. So, these are the things that Black Americans have been dealing with for generations. And we're at the point where I think we done lost, like we don't know where we're going anymore. We have no idea where we're being attacked from. We have no way to actually galvanize into actually a power structure. Listen, I'm gonna be real with y'all. It's over. This is the last kicking, and I know a lot of FBA are going to be mad, and a lot of my friends get mad at me when I say it, but I think it's over. Like I think I'm the last generation of Black Americans. I'm the last. Even you guys are like later, like you millennials, you're not Black Americans. Like you're something different. Millennials, Gen Zers, you're not really Black American. I know you're going to be mad at me for saying that, but you grew up in a time when that was already over. This was been some kind of like weird gumbo pot of something called globalist modernization. This hasn't been blackness. You missed the good era. I barely caught it. I caught the very last. This is why I'm saying I know you missed it, because I caught just the last end of it. And I was born in 1975, and it was already almost over by then. We were already sellouts to communists. Don't make me go get the. Don't make me get the books. Don't make me get the books. Where are you, Claude? Oh, where are you, Claude? You all the way at the bottom. Don't forget, we were already trying to be Marxists. It's code name Sasha. We already queer Black Marxism. He won. He won. Check the internet, people. Look at your Black kids today. He won. The whole nation is basically queer Black Marxists. This is written. This is a dude that hung out in Morocco because to get away with behaviors that he couldn't get away with in America. So they just go hang out in Morocco. Marrakesh. I didn't even know about these places until I read these books and I heard Jay-Z speaking. All of a sudden, recently, all of these Black people, rich elite Black Hollywooders are in Marrakesh, Morocco. That's the new hot thing, right? All the Black women are going over to Dubai. It's weird behavior to me, but I understand because I know y'all Y'all done. Y'all cooked. It's cooked. Like the black nation, they've been cooking us slowly for decades, for centuries now. So again, I'm talking about the FBA versus the diaspora, and I'm pointing out the bad, and I'm saying my black American culture is cooked. I'm the last generation of blackness. I'm the last generation that understood what living in the South on dirt roads. And I mean, I'm not, listen, you Southerners, it might be different. I'm talking, I guess I can only speak as a New Yorker, a Northerner. But I'm down in the South now, and I don't know if these dudes, I don't see blackness anymore. I'm in Florida. Like, I don't see blackness here. I see Caribbean. I see Haitian culture everywhere. I see Puerto Rican, Spanish, Dominican, Cuban. I see Italian. I don't really see foundational Black American culture here. I don't even know what that looks like. I don't know what community that is. It's so mixed. It's so like diluted that you couldn't even tell me. So some of the other bad things I'm having about my own people. Again, this I'm going to keep pointing out this rebellious nature against any perceived threat, and I put in quotations education. That's why I point out this whole idea. Listen, I work in these schools, man. Foundational Black Americans, we're at the lowest scores. We got whether you like to hear this or not, whether it bothers you or not, it does not change the fact that I see it with my own eyes in multiple states, big cities, people. Not little suburbs, not little dirt road towns, big cities. These are what the numbers look like. And you're going to just say that I'm a coon. But while I'm a coon, well, the numbers don't change. FBA families, kids are failing the hardest. We're doing the worst. You have immigrant kids coming here. This is a fact. I see with my own eyes. They come here. They can't even speak the language. And they have better reading scores within 2, 3 years than our American homegrown Black American kids. And I'm gonna tell you why. And you ain't gonna like it either. But whether you like it or not, it still remains the same, and we're gonna pay for it. You know what our kids are? It's our culture. Our kids are all into rap music. I'm not saying the Caribbeans ain't because they have their own issues. They got that dance hall. They're crashing out too. They're heading in the same direction. So, but they just got a little bit more time than we do because we're actually pumping it. We're pumping it out. We're actually the drug dealer. Okay, we're the drug dealer and the main user. And what I mean is like degrading music. But trust me, I am not saying that the Caribbeans have not played a large role in how quickly we went downhill with it because they bring a sexuality to the play that even as Black American Protestants, we not really with that. But I see now we getting money, spending cash, we spending it, we spending it, spending it. Everybody's spending it. Everybody doing it. Everybody's one culture now, so that's different. But our rejection of education, our rejection of what we call white man knowledge, just makes us look silly and foolish, and we keep like it stops us from even beating people who come in here supposedly behind us, and it's embarrassing, bro. It's embarrassing, but I know you're gonna defend it because that's what we do. We defend criminals. We defend like low education expectations. We defend high crime rates. We defend lack of like emotional control. Everything's defended. Everything's defended because we got the gooch. As long as the gooch is around, man, we can always say, yo, there's this bad guy that make me do that. But like I said, even with me saying all of this about my people, when we are in it, we are in it to win it, and we in it for real. We ready to go all out, and that's the thing I love about my people that I don't love about a lot of the immigrant populations that we have to share neighborhoods with, share schools with, share hospitals with, share resources with, fight for jobs against. Like they're not in it like that. Like because again, this is not their country. I don't know if they don't love it the way we're gonna love it. They just can't. They love their country, and that's always been a problem to me. Every time I see a group of black people waving foreign flags, a group of Latinos waving foreign flags, if I see Chinese people waving Chinese flags, are you crazy? Are you crazy? But that's what you fools doing, and you're so arrogant and entitled that you think it's no problem. You think it's no problem, and at the same time talking trash. So that's the problem with the new immigrants. And I'm going to speak about again more the new type of immigrants. Again, we used to have, like, to me, decent type of immigrants, man, that worked hard. They were different than my people. They were different, but today they just as ratchet. I don't see those good, quiet girls. Oh, I got people in the comments. I didn't even know this was working, man. Who is this warrior clan? What's up? The United States AK. Let me see what's here. I didn't even know. Hey, man, welcome to the lounge, man. I don't expect anyone to watch, so I just be talking. I'm talking really more to make a video, to make some clips. But I appreciate those of you that are here. Please, hey, feel free to say something, man. It's never. I don't want to be crazy talking to myself. Appreciate you, warrior. So he said we need more I know I don't know how to get more interaction. I'm new to this kind of online stuff. I'm just gonna get on here. Gary Webb's book, Dark Alliance. Let me see this. What are you talking? Gary Webb's book, Dark Alliance, and definitely put some good books in there, man. Definitely, if you know some good books, put in there. What is this? The United States government, AK, to see a push. Yeah, they did. I mean, I'm aware of this. I was around for. I don't know how old you are, Warrior Clan, but yeah, I was around for that. I remember that. But here's my problem with that. We know the government will listen. I don't trust the government. I'm anti-government. I don't like the government. The government has never been the friend of any nation in any kind of way. Good, either side, they're both bad. I don't even like this idea. I mean, I know we need it. Don't get me wrong. I know we need it, but I don't trust the government. So I'm fully aware that they will do whatever they need to do to make a profit to win a war. They will make deals with really awful people because they believe the end justifies the means. And me knowing this, don't that leave me empowered enough to say, hey, that means it was a failure of black leadership. If a bunch of, and it always has been, but the government shouldn't be able to come in there and get you to sell crack to your own people, and then to watch like millions like just get destroyed, and then it just to keep funneling to where we have to depend on conservative white people to come save us from ourselves. If it's that easy, to like control how black people move, then we have no chance. We'll never be able to really stop anything. So that's why while I acknowledge that, yeah, that the government did some foul things, the history, all of that, I also don't want to take away that we do have enough knowledge and experience in this game to make better choices. And I just, because I don't know any other answer than that. I really don't know any other answer than that. Um, let's see here. Dark Alliance was a book by San Jose Mercury journalist who wrote a book detailing the Oliver North era. I remember when he actually got on TV. And Oliver North. I forget. I remember that actual meeting. I know. I know we brag about it though now. Like we got the I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, whipping work. We brag about it. The show we don't tell it. That's my problem with my people. I understand who the government is. They're gonna always be the government. Okay? Same government that freed you, lynched you. Okay. Why do we glorify it? That's the part I'm trying to address. I'm trying to address our spirit. I know the spirit of Satan. I look at the government as basically like that's what we're fighting against for the most part. But what I'm seeing now is corporations and governments working together, coordinated, and basically enslaving the minds and the masses of the people. When I think about the influence of TV, movies, rap music, music in general, who really controls these avenues? Okay, Warrior Clan, let's see here. See, Warrior Clan, I'm from the Bay Area, which is part of the 9 county Bay Area, which San Jose is part of the home of the Black Panther Party. Oh, I know. I'm very familiar with. with the Bay Area and the Black Panther connection. Actually, I'll tell you the truth. I only like the Bay Area, and I've never been there. But the idea of the Bay Area, I when I think of LA, I can't even stand the thought of LA. But whenever I've thought about the Bay Area, the Oakland, I've always felt the connection as a New Yorker. I always felt that connection. I know the Panthers and them were heavy, and I also think there's like a cultural connection there too. Y'all give me more vibes of like a Brooklyn, New Yorker in the Bay Area, Oakland, than LA do. LA dudes, I don't know about them. I'm not trying to get into that. I'm just saying, as a black New Yorker, there does seem to be a closer or a real connection between the Bay and New York that I don't feel with LA. Okay, so and I know it's deep. I know it's deep. So I don't know what. So I mean, this thing with the culture war. So today, I mean, I don't know what to tell y'all, man. I started this conversation with this FBA versus the diaspora. How do y'all feel about that, man? Anybody? How do y'all feel about it? And again, I'm just having a problem. Let me, you know what? Let me just, since I'm here, let me get to it. Let me do some house cleaning. Message to my FBA brothers and sisters. One, you are not indigenous to the Americas. You are not here. I know you. I've seen some Native Americans whose skin was blacker than mine has ever been. They had straight hair. Maybe even some had curly hair. Yes, I know you saw the more. You're comparing the Olmec statues, and you're saying that the Olmec statue looks like a black person, and it looks similar to an African statue. Now, let me break down why that sounds nice, but that's very, very childish in thinking. First of all, who we are as Black Americans, we are sub Saharan Africans. We are not Africans. There are multiple different types of Africans. Northern Africans can be white or Arab or whatever, Semitic, whatever you want to call that group. They're not the same as sub-Saharan, and they've been there a very long, long time. I'm talking about BC. BC. Now, yeah, maybe if you go back 10, 20, 30,000 years ago, which we have no documented history really of record, maybe everyone was just jet black. But I'm trying to say, since we've been documenting history and writing it down, it's not been what a lot of foundational black Americans think it is. It's your ignorance is showing. We are sub Saharan. We are river people. It's nothing but rivers down there underneath the Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert is a desert that basically separates cultures and people. You're not the same people above that desert as you are beneath that desert. You're living in totally different climates, totally different environments. You're affected by totally different things. People that lived up in the northern parts of Africa had connections with Europe. They had connections with the Middle East. They had connections with all of these other places. Knowledge was flowing around. You know, they taught you this in high school. You just chose not to listen. So now you want to argue on the internet. And I'm just speaking to the world right now. I'm not speaking to anyone in general. I'm just speaking out loud to those people who keep pushing this dumb stuff that actually makes us look dumb. And you got like Africans and Caribbeans and others like, these people are idiots, but they sitting here talking so tough and about this is their land and they built it. You don't even understand basic history, basic science, basic math. That's what's embarrassing about my people. But let me clean it up for y'all. We are not indigenous to the Americas. We came here on the slave trade. You can do all of that. Genetics only go back this far. There are genetic markers that we can trace. Yeah, I can't find exactly where I was and exactly which group and exactly what people, but there are people who are walking around the earth with the same genetic markers that I have. And that's how DNA works. So it could clearly tell you your black behind come from Africa, just like my DNA showed me mine. We're mostly Nigerian. We're made up of that Gold Coast. You think everyone made that up? You think everyone made that up? You think everyone was in agreement? Everyone, the Japanese, the Russians, the Chinese, the whites, the Spanish, everyone said, hey, let's all trick these black Americans and tell them they from Africa. won't that be evil genius? What would be they would not all agree on this. And like I said earlier, education isn't just some white man up in the skybox telling everybody what to learn. Education is people from all over the world bringing resources and thoughts together and being challenged on it. The problem with my FBA people, you're not being challenged. You're just bullying everyone. You're bullying everyone. Yo, if you don't believe I'm from Africa, I mean that I'm not from Africa, then you're a tether. Bro, you know how juvenile that conversation. Yo, it's like, yo, if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna take my ball. Yo, it's so embarrassing, but I can't even tell you because all of y'all there in agreement with it. Okay, we come from Africa. We do not come from the Americas. Okay, and let me tell you why we didn't come from Africa 100, 500 years before the Europeans. We didn't do that because, but we couldn't even get, like, we're river people. We're not ocean people. People from, I forget, the Southeast Asia, India, came down. What is the country right off the east coast of Africa? Is it Madagascar? I don't know the name of the country. There's a big island, a country that's inhabited by Indians and Asians that is closer to sub-Saharan Africans did not have the ability or nor probably the desire, even more so. Maybe they would have had the ability, but they never had the desire to travel over the ocean. But to make your argument make sense to you, you just create it. Like, I don't care what you say. I know we were here before Columbus. No, you don't. And there's so much documented history to say that we came here on the slave trade. Now, what I will agree with my people on is we are not the same Africans that came over. I would make the argument that we lost that African vibe probably within the first year of being in the Americas because there's so much documented history showing how new slaves coming into the Americas were not treated like we wasn't treating them like brothers. There was already like the black Americans that were already here for decades, if not already a century, already on had grant. They didn't look at themselves like the brand new African that popped up in 1840 something. There's been, like I said, my bloodline's been there since the 1640s. Okay, so if my family been in the Americas since the 1600s, and then I meet a new African that came here in 1845, I've already been here 200 years. Do you get it? Like, we're not the same, and I'm not going to look at him as my brother. I'm going to be like, yo, bro, yo, go over there, get away from me. Tell my daughter, yo, stay away from them people. This is natural things, but y'all reinventing everything for your feelings and not sticking to the math and to the script. What's going on, Warrior Clan? Let's see here. Los Angeles is where the largest concentration of black Americans on the west coast of California lived at one time. I was about to say at one time. I don't think so today. The blacks, I know, I know, I know. This is partly my argument. We're so lost in the plot. Like, we don't. This is why I say it's over. We were, but you see how New York City. When I was in the '80s, we were a large number of blacks in Harlem. There ain't no blacks in Harlem. There ain't no blacks like me. There ain't no black Americans. You might see more Africans in Harlem. You see more Dominicans, Mexicans. That's Harlem now. There's a few of us still around. We repping it. We talking that talk, but everybody want to be Spanish. There ain't nobody that's really black American repping that proudly in New York City either. So all of the Miami, I could say the same. We used to be there. We used to be in Miami. Detroit, from what I understand, I know it's still a lot of us out there, but give it 40 years, it's going to be mostly Arabs. So we're losing everywhere we go. And that's my point when I'm talking to my FBA brothers who are so loud and proud because we get to bully some immigrants for a little while. Bro, we don't got the game plan either. And I'm not saying that working with immigrants is the idea either, because I don't think that worked either. But whatever we doing, it ain't working. We are generationally staying in the same place. Yeah, we could talk about making some more money, but our people, our spirits ain't higher. We don't feel any better about ourselves. I don't think. When I see young black men, I don't think that they feel as equal and as powerful as they should feel given the history of their people has already lived. They should be prouder than they are. And if they were prouder, they wouldn't be unaliving each other by the dozens every week. Now there's 6% of homeless. Same thing in New York, Warrior Clan. Same thing in New York. Most of the homeless in America are Black American men, and then next white maybe, and then Black women and families. We're making up all of the bad numbers, and yet we're. Let's see what else here. Let me show what you put there. Yeah, Warrior Clan definitely talking about the 20. I agree, and I said we're losing everywhere. Everywhere we go, we're losing. We're losing. Let's see here. What else you talking about here? Black Americans are not reading. They are not going to the libraries. They are being dumbed down with this NWA influence. So fat. Oh, Warrior Clan. It ain't NWA no more. You know the new demon on the street. The new demon. What's my boy? NBA Young Boy. NBA Young Boy. Pooh Shiesty. All the gangsters and all the little gangbangers on the block. I don't know if you heard about this little girl. She's not a little girl. She's 21, but it's a little girl to me. Her name was Dream Doll Bree. She was in Miami, Florida. Little black girl, cute little thing. She was famous for making ratchet music. She was famous for like basically hanging out with LGBTQ boys. It was their whole culture, this kind of demonic culture, in my opinion. It was very demonic. You know, it was a lot of her songs were so degrading, so disgusting, but she was so popular. Well, she wound up getting unalive. They shot a car up. They shot a car up. Hey, South Africa, yo, what is going on down there, people? I am hearing some wild stuff. Which, listen, first of all, let me tell you, this is a channel. I am not one of them woke liberal channels, so yo, I don't mind y'all wilding out in South Africa. I'm just curious. Y'all having immigration problems too, huh? I guess we all having immigration problems. Hold on, let me see here. Black Americans, okay, they're being dumbed down. Yeah, yeah. Now it's the new. Yeah, it's over for us. And on top of the music, it's now we're all joining the other communities. I'm telling you, I work in school systems, and it's very. You would be surprised at how many of our kids are joining the other communities, and I don't believe it's natural. And the other thing is the mental health issues in our schools. Our kids are they're going nuts with what we're presenting them. This is not healthy for society. The things that we're throwing in their faces. Madagascar. Let me see. Okay, let me see here, Warrior. What did you say here? Madagascar is Black, African, and Indo. I know, but I believe, I believe it's Black African, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm a little bit wrong, but I feel like Indonesia's way, like the Indians are way further away than the Africans, and I feel like they got there first. Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know everything about history, but I believe they got there first. And that's my problem, showing that we were not ocean. We were river people. And I'm speaking of sub-Saharan. So I'm not even really speaking about the eastern side of Africa. I'm trying to that's the other thing, since I'm doing the whole things that FBA believe that ain't true. You're not a Moor. You're not a Moor. You were never a Moor. I don't know if the Moors were black. Don't care. I know you weren't. Okay? I know your bloodlines down there, sub-Saharan, under under the Sahara Desert. You were not a Moor. Here's another thing. You were not an Egyptian. You were none of those pharaohs, whether they were black, whether they were Semitic, whether they were white, whether they were Greek, don't matter. You were not one of them. Sub-Saharan black man in the Americas. That means Brazil, Cuba, America, Jamaica, Haiti. None of us, all of these people I'm naming, Guyanese, none of us were Egyptian. Not one. Maybe one. 99.999. We were not Egyptians. No, no, nothing to do with that culture. They know nothing about it. You know how big Africa is? You know how big Africa is? You know how far these places are from each other? People that didn't even have like engines, like come on, these people just got like cars in the 1960s. And you think that like sub-Saharans over here were talking and doing business and intermarrying with Egyptians over there and and North Africans above the Sahara Desert. I don't even know if any black tribes ever figured out how to cross the Sahara Desert on their own. I know the Arabs did. And this isn't me hating black people. This is me just telling the truth. Lying, listen, being pro-black don't mean lying. Being pro-black means telling the truth about blackness. So no, we were never Moors. That's not us. Maybe it could be another type of black. When the Somalians and the Egyptians tell you they not black like you get upset. But they not black like you. And I don't know why you so upset. Why are you forcing other people to be part of your group? Bro, be proud FBA. I don't need nobody to be on my team. I don't need the Egyptians. I don't need the Moors. I don't care about none of that. I could just stand on Frederick Douglass, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, W.E.B. Du Bois, Benjamin Beck. Bro, I got so many dudes I could stand on. I don't need to be Egyptian. You fools are just reaching and grabbing from everything. You just want to own everything. You want to act like you a god. And that's the problem with a lot of you young, dumb black people today that's out here talking FBA issues. You ain't equipped to talk about FBA history. You're not equipped. You're just emotional. I don't care. Buying the Tariq Nasheed DVD set doesn't prepare you to talk about history, to talk about blackness. The DVD set don't prepare you for that, people. I don't care what they told you. Let me see what y'all talking about, man. So that's my second thing. We are not Moors. We are not Egyptians. Okay? I said we didn't come here before Columbus. And this isn't me kissing white people's behind. This is just, again, telling the truth. Let me see what y'all talking about here. Okay. Let me see here. All right. Black American and global black history is incomplete without including the history of Liberia, Sierra Leone, which American Liberia, okay, America, Liberians are black American forefathers known as America. Okay, I'm very much aware about Liberia. Very much aware about Liberia. I also know we've been, I also know that story, it shows you that we're not the same because you see, we sent a bunch of people, the American colonization. I think it was some organization along with Britain and America together, which a lot of black Americans, a lot of our leadership, I think Frederick Douglass as well was involved with this. They rejected this. Like whenever like these European societies and Americans was like, yo, we're going to find a way to get to all y'all black people back to Africa. We rejected that several times in history. Like that's been approached and given us. But Liberia is an example of a bunch of American blacks that went over there. You're right. And from what I understand, it became just tribal warfare, where we became our own little gang out there. And we did them dirty. They did us dirty. And we just did each other dirty. So this, again, showing this kind of fake unity, it doesn't happen when you force it. When one government forces another group on another, it never works. Just like how maybe a lot of FBA feel like immigration has been forced on them, and we've done a better job at making that work than I think a lot of other places. Because a lot of other places this would not go down. I know a bunch of black Americans cannot walk up in Haiti today, walk up in Jamaica and start running stuff and running our mouths. I know that. We could barely do it in our own country in Jamaican and Haitian neighborhood. We can't run our mouths there. They ready to light you up. So, like, all right, let me see here. What do we have here? Sierra yes, so I'm aware of that. Like I said, I know it ended bad. We got TNN YouTube. I don't know what that is, but South Africa. Shout outs to South Africa. Y'all might be y'all might be just as wicked as us. I joke, but not really. Let me see here. Hold on. What we got? The blueprint was NWA and the major small. Hey, if you watch my channel, you know I will never mention their name. I always say the group I can never mention. I guess you call them small hats, but I actually don't mind the Orthodox. See, the Orthodox don't bother me. They don't bother me. It's the academics, it's the lawyers, it's the record executives, it's the Hollywood TV executives. That ain't the small hats, bro. The small hats just want to be left alone. They want to just be over there on the side doing they don't even want you talking to them. As far as my experience with the small hats or the people I can never say out loud, But it's the other ones. It's the Hollywood. It's the movie execs. It's the ones who run corporations and run school districts and museums and institutions of higher learning and psychology. And oh my God, the rabbit hole is so deep. That's why I don't talk about them people. I don't talk about them people, bro. The quickest way listen, I don't talk about them people. I'm like Tariq Nasheed on that one. I don't talk about them. Now, yeah, because I'm scared. Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared of them more than the YN, bro. Forget them YNs, bro. I can go give me a weapon too. But these dudes, man, they take everything, everything. They take everything. What's else popping here? Oh, okay, we got somebody new here. Family full of OGs. I'm nervous. So you ask, are you Black American? Yes, sir. So why are you speaking on us? Well, let me answer one question before you ask the other one. How about you? Go build up your home. Oh Lord, bro. You see, this is what I mean. Like, look at the family of OGs. How about getting a family full of like high school diplomas? Let's try that one next for the next group. Because we get the OGs and ain't that bright. We can see that by the way you talking. So let's first address the. Yeah, I'm probably more Black American than you ever will be. Family of OGs. Okay, like I said, if you were here earlier, Petey River, Gullah Geechee, 1640 bloodline, Savannah, Georgia, South Carolina. I could put my auntie on the phone right now. She's still in Savannah, Georgia. Can you do the same, sir? Can you do the same? You see how these idiots, this is why I can't mess with them. Even though I'm FBA, I can't stand these fools, bro. These fools are idiots, most of them walking around. All they do is worry about the boogeyman called white supremacy, and they want to just tell around, yo, if you don't agree with me, you not black. Bro, who are you? And who is us? I'm FBA black, and I don't accept this clown in my group. But he's talking about why are you speaking on us? You and I, even though I guess we supposedly, but I don't think I. This is what I'm saying. I'd rather deal with the immigrants than a clown like this. Keeping it real with you. There's so many in my group. There's so many like YN, low IQ dudes full of emotion. They just want to fight. They just want to. They don't want, but they never want to do that with this. They never want to the book. They never want to let me get this. Boy, let me get this clown energy, clown behavior. And this is what's failing our whole community, and they need to be addressed. That's the problem. Yeah, I'm a real OG, bro. Real OG, not no family of OGs. Let's see here. What we talk about. Yo, like and subscribe to the channel if you're feeling where I'm going with this. If not, kick rocks, man. Get up out of here. Let's see here. Egyptians were dark skinned too, though. Yeah. Again, let me talk to y'all something. Let me explain something. I wish I could look. There's a term called phenotype and genotype. I spoke about that earlier. We can go back. I can show you Native Americans blacker than I. You and I will never be with straight hair. We could go to India. There are people darker than you. There are people in Australia darker than you. That doesn't make them sub-Saharan African like you. That's just the amount of melanin from the sun, sweetie. That's not your culture because of how much melanin you ingest in your skin for protection. That's only one aspect of culture. Probably one of 20 things. It's what you eat. It's how you dress. It's your climate. It's the cultures. It's the customs. It's the religion. It's the language. This is 8th grade social studies. 8th grade, 7th grade social studies. When they told you where's culture. I remember, no, sorry. Yeah, it is. It's middle school. 7th grade social studies. You learn this. What makes up culture? And it ain't because we black, girl. God damn, you know how simple people sound when they say that? There's dark-skinned people all over the world. That don't make them your family, girl. That doesn't mean that they were there. Sub-Saharan is not a real thing because she says so. How can you work with people like this, America, the world? And this is what shames us, why we can't get the FBA to be taken seriously. It's always some goofy chick like this or some goofy emotional dude that want to fight his way to like, you better agree with me. It's always them speaking. It's never the intelligent ones because they get shot down by these idiots. So sub-Saharan, so the Sahara Desert doesn't exist. Kim West. The Sahara Desert doesn't exist because she don't want it there. I think that's how. She don't want it there. She don't like it there. She don't like that term. So let's just remove it because Kim doesn't want it there, people. Let's just remove her desert. Been there. Let's remove a desert, people. It doesn't fit the narrative, man. Kimmy doesn't like the Sahara Desert. It messes up her story of how we were Moors. I bet you that's where she's going. Cause that darn desert be in the way of that more that story, boy. That desert just messes the whole story up. Thank God. I mean, why did God put that desert there? Because then it's just like I can't be a Moor with that big desert there. Historians say otherwise. Say what? The historians don't say anything like you say because I've been in the room with them. They ain't never said nothing like that. But anyway, hey, nice. Thank you for talking, though, Kim West. I appreciate it. Please forgive me for being such a jerk. Stupidity brings that out in me. Okay, what we talking about here? The Swahili people are East Coast mariners who sailed back and forth in the Indian Ocean. Some Black Americans did come from East Africa on Mozambique coast and from. Okay, let me reread that. Some Black Americans did come from East Africa. Okay, on the Mozambique coast and from the island of Madeira. Okay, that's a little confusing. I do agree. And again, I don't want to fall victim for doing exactly what I'm saying we're doing. That sub Saharans and East Coast Africans are not necessarily the same people. Definitely different cultures. They both black, yes, they both from Africa, different cultures. So, you know what? Again, can you just answer this for me, Warrior Clint? Did the Asian Indians, did they discover Madagascar before the East Coast Africans, or who settled it? Maybe they just see. There's probably evidence of probably people, Africans, Black Africans. I don't know where this American part comes from. You said Black Americans come from the East Africa, and I don't. You would have to break that down, but I could see how they might be island skipping. Maybe they're hitting, but I don't know if that means they inhabited the area or the island. I feel like the Asians took that island. I don't know the ratio. I did look this up before, and I don't know the ratio of like how many it would be sub-Saharan or East. How did you put it? East Coast mariners who sailed back and forth in the Indian Ocean. We have to talk about that American thing. What else you talking about here? Warrior Ken. The golden age of West Africa are four main empires. Right. I'm aware. Ghana, Mali, Songhai, and okay, I didn't know about this last one. The Kanem Borno. Borno. All Muslim empires. The Songhai Empire fell in 1591 with the Moorish invasion. 1591. Right. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love when you give me real history, man. I'm a see here. Cynthia McKinney, Congress women breaks down APAC. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's go to my South African over here. What we talking about? Yeah, there are those who want immigrants out. There are those who are more focused on dealing with government failures. I'm not sure what you've heard though, so I'm not sure what to respond to. Africans were me, you, TNN, YouTube. I'm not sure if you're still there, but I think I agree. I think me and you would agree on a lot of things. Africans were. I know that they weren't unified ever, even within countries that were created by Europeans. I mean, like remember, Europe. So a lot of these countries were created in the 1960s, like officially under black leadership. Under black leadership, they were colonial powers before that, but they didn't come under their own black leadership till a lot of this 1960s, if I'm not right. And I know you have tribes within these countries. Like, forget the country versus country. Let's talk about just the tribes within a country. Like, you can't even unify that. And see, that's the thing that always bothers me. I'm going to agree with you that in America, our politicians have tried to put together this fake coalition as well here. So I agree with you there. Now, what I have heard about what's going on in South Africa is very similar to what we're dealing with in the Americas with this group called Foundational Black Americans, which would be like the native South Africans who feel, like they're going back to Shaka, they're going back tribal. And then there's all these new immigrant blacks that have came into a lot of neighborhoods. Now, normally we've gotten along with this thing with these groups and we've accepted them as brothers and sisters and we've looked at it as a pan-African thing. We've kind of been suckered in our opinions by our own government, by our leadership, which is like the black leadership, which is in bed with the Democratic Party, which is more pushing. They're more worried about winning big elections. And they need more than African Americans or black Americans. They need more than FBA to win elections. They need a bunch of new immigrants to actually beat what the other side. So they're willing to like sacrifice us. A lot of us are believing whether we're right or wrong. That's I don't know who's going to decide that. I think the people always decide, right? Eventually. But we're finding out this like immigration thing, whether they're black or not, has not been in our best interest as foundational black American, which is meaning being here during slavery, coming here during the time of slavery, not coming here in the freedom times of America and in the immigration times of the 60s or even the early 1900s. We don't care if you came here in the 1900s. We're talking about those people whose ancestors dealt with slavery. We're hearing in South Africa the black South Africans are getting just as upset with a lot of the immigrants coming from other countries in Africa. What I've seen, I was going to do a video on this actually, where I've seen like groups of kind of tribal South Africans with like the Zulus, like little shields, and they running through town, whipping dudes, chasing them out of town. Which I'm gonna be careful on the internet. All I'm gonna say is I understand. Now in the West, we would never allow that here. Like that's the difference too. In Western civilizations, we ain't gonna allow that. We ain't gonna allow like people to be bullied like that. Even though, like I said, I understand. I totally understand, and I ain't judging. So that's what I heard about South Africa. Y'all dealing with immigration issues. You don't like the Africans that are there. We don't like a lot of the Caribbeans and Africans that are here. We don't. It's not personal. It's not like like if you was with me on my live, I almost said I actually like immigrants and Caribbeans and Africans better than I like FBA as a people. I do. But the fact remains, whether I like it or not, this is FBA country. And even though I can't stand half of them because they ignorant as hell, violent, stupid, all kinds of things, a lot of them. And they all gonna show they behind on my comment section in a minute because hit dogs always holler. They don't realize I'm FBA too. So when I don't feel when people talk about FBAs being stupid, I know they're not talking about me because I know I'm an intelligent man. So I'm already aware of the insecurities going through a lot of them. I just love when they show it to me. So that's what that is. Let's see here. Africans were never unified. That's a fact. Um, let's see here. What is? Yeah, there are those who want immigrants out and those who are more focused on dealing with the government. Okay. And you said, okay, let's see here. What's going on with my man, Warrior Clan? Get the book Hit Men by Frederick Dannon. It breaks down those Brooklyn boys who ran the record industry with the sprinkling of, oh, yeah. It's not just the music. What about boxing? What about boxing and sports? Listen, man, listen, I try to be a civilized man that's like thinking forward. But when I get into those stories of how the Italians and the people I can never say out loud, how they just really, and the Irish, oh God. Like, those are what gets me real pro-black. It gets me on some radical, like let's roll. Like those stories bother me more than any stories because those happened in the modern times, and they kind of lead up to a lot of interactions we're still having today with our so-called artists and the music executives. That's still alive. That the people I can never name, that Italian, that music industry, the sports, all of that, that's still here. One of the most important books written about global blacks was written by a warrior, Scott Chancellor. I know. Whoa. Do I have? Whoa. Whoa. Oh no, I don't got Chancellor Williams. I got Dr. Eric Williams right here. This is Dr. Eric Williams. This is documents of West Indian history. Um, what is this? One of the most important. Yeah, yeah. Indonesians. Let me see here. Indonesia. Exactly. Indonesian settlement. That's my point. That's my point. Showing that that we weren't like boat people, like going over oceans in big boats. Okay, they both arrived on the east coast of the island through to marriage of the west coast of Madagascar, where most of the Africans landed further into the Nepal. Okay, okay, okay. But here's my point. Being right there next to Africa, I would think that like the whole thing would have been settled before the Indonesians would have even knew that there was a like something happening there. I'll be right back, y'all. Let me see if I can. Let me see something here. I'll be right back. We're gonna keep going. I gotta go to the bathroom. Let me play some music. Hey, wake up, wake up, man. I had to deal with my FBA people outside real quick. Yo, we back, man. So speaking of FBA, man, I just took a quick look at my shout outs to my FBA, at least the intelligent ones, man. Come to my channel, man. Come to my channel. Stop going over to these ignorant FBA channels. Come to a smart man FBA channel, man. That's not gonna lie to you, bro. We're gonna talk the truth here. So, what we got going on here? I got a comment. Where we at? Let's see here. Let's go back. Where we at? What we doing here? They both okay. What's the Jones brothers started the Black Policy Syndicate, which went ahead up against the small hats, the Italian mob, Sam G, yeah, Chicago. Oh man, there's so many of them wars. I was just watching a war about in Detroit with this black dude. We went to war against like the whole Detroit. Was it Detroit or was it Florida? I don't know. No, it was Detroit. It was the same people who unalived Jimmy Hoffa. Like this one black man refused to give up the racket. I mean, they wound up getting them late in life. But yeah, and you know, them Italians terrorized us, bro. They terrorized, and they took away the market. They took away a lot of those numbers rackets, and those. Let me tell you a little bit. See, when y'all sit here thinking about slavery, and you got this image in your head, man. But there have been other groups that have been coming into this country and being more white supremacist or Arab supremacist or Indian supremacist or foreign supremacist than any white man has been throughout times. Okay, we have actual immigrants that have came here in World War II. And again, shout outs to my Italians, man. I love my Italians, my Sicilians, man. Straight up. But I ain't gonna lie to you. Like your relationship with us, you've been like one of the main racists. Them and the Irish have been the main ones. The people I will never name, they've always been the businessman. That's the role they've always played throughout history, going back to BC. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Some of this stuff is bigger than you, FBA. Some of this stuff you got caught up in, and you don't even know why you in the middle of it. But what the Italians did to a lot of Black Americans, you know, that is more of something. And again, I'm not holding them accountable. I'm just telling what happened, man. The way they took away our rackets, those rackets like the numbers, which today is the lottery. You know, a lot of Black businessmen, gangsters, businessmen. There's a thin line a lot of the time between a gangster and a businessman. But that was millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars in profits going into the Black community. And just through straight thuggery, bullying, and coordination with like the court system and all of the allies that they put into the systems, they were able to take away millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, whether legal or illegal, and take it out of Black community's hands and put it into their community as immigrant hands. This is why I'm here. See, this is the one thing where me and my group, the FBA, this is the only thing we agree upon. We both agree that we have a strong dislike for immigration policies and how it affects Black Americans, foundational Black Americans. We both agree. And that might be the only thing me and every other FBA agree on. And you want to know something? That's enough. That one thing enough. That one thing enough is enough to keep this very fragile, because no one is ever unified, and Black people are the least unified people in the world. But right now, with this FBA thing, our disdain and dislike for this globalist idea, and we're starting to see the removal of our culture, or our culture being expanded into some murkiness that we don't agree with, and we don't like it. And we don't like the fact that we're actually being guilt tripped into giving up our own history, our own culture on behalf of the Democratic Party. So I checked my one of my YouTube channel, and one of my something I just put out a short, and I made a comment that FBA, even for one election, we need to all vote Republican. All of us, every single one. Even if you hate Donald Trump, even if you hate the establishment, you must vote Republican just for one reason. If you go back and vote Democrat, they will restock this country with millions of illegal immigrants and new immigrants that will definitely lower your chances and your magnitude within your party. And I don't mean it. And the reason I say it's their party, it's not my party. I'm no longer a Democrat. I stopped registering as a Democrat 8 years ago. So I'm 51 years old. So I went 40 something years as a Democrat. And I finally decided that I will never, well, I won't say never, because I'm not loyal to anything but what will be most beneficial to my group and my country first. My God, my group, my God, my country, my family. Outside of that, I could care less about you. Okay? Outside of that. And my group is at the bottom of that. My God is above my group. My family is above my group. Myself is above my group. My group is last of the most important things in the list of important things. Okay? So, let's see here. Where was I going with this? You can't be a foundational Black American and hate America. That's where me and a lot of foundational Black Americans are not clicking. We're not agreeing. Because on one end, I don't think you are actually proud to be a foundational Black American. I think you just see that as a way to attack the immigrants, which I'm okay with, because I don't think illegal immigrants and I don't think immigration policies have helped Black Americans at all. But that's the only reason you're calling yourself FBA. You don't actually like America. You don't even want to build within America. You don't want to have allies in America. You want to actually just stand there as this individual calling ourselves foundational Black Americans, probably like what, 12%. But if we start to exclude the immigrants, it's probably more like 8, 7, 8%. It's really that. And then when you want to go to like voting age, people who are able to vote, people who will vote, we're really talking about a 1% of the population. That's what you're saying when you want to stand on foundational Black American as a by yourself, and you don't want to be included in the bigger American family. It's a stupid idea and a stupid plan. You might as well stay Pan African. You're gonna be isolated. You might as well just stick with the Pan African. So that's what I'm saying. Half of these dudes are Pan Africans who are just upset because immigrants were getting resources that they felt they should get. They're not really pro-American. And this is why I don't really click with my own FBA group. I click with them because, like I said at the beginning, that's family, that's lineage. I have no choice. But as far as rhetoric, as far as the plan, as far as like how we see the future, I don't see the future the same as a lot of these fools, and I call them fools. I don't care how they feel. A lot of them are just emotional and illogical. What's going on over here in South Africa? I see my screen buzzing. Let's see what's going on here. Am I saying something to upset someone? Let's see here. Oh, okay. The main issue. This is from my South African friend over here. I don't know if we're friends yet. I hope we're friends. The main issue South Africa has with immigration is the growing tendency among people from other African countries to flock to South Africa rather than, hey, we are friends. We are friends. We are friends. We both agree 100% with the same philosophy. No, we're tired of the. But see, here's this part, South African. We got Africans doing that here in America. Like, what do we do with that? And we supposed to be on some, yeah, they black. They want you South Africans to feel the same way. Hey, but everybody's black. You hear them on my chat. I mean, you hear them on my line. Well, you probably don't, but if you could see like some of the comments I get from people on some of the things I say, that everything is that, yo, they black, so they friends, they family. But yet, I actually have black family, and they're not that friendly to me. Like, I actually have black people who are really my family. It doesn't really happen in our own families, but yet somehow this whole idea that, yo, black person we never met, don't know crap about them, they get to just pull up and live in my neighborhood, like compete with me for jobs. We don't eat the same foods. We don't speak the same language. We don't do the same dances. We don't do the same cultures. But all of a sudden, I'm supposed to just be cool with you, just living, pulling up right there. And I ain't even have no say in it. Some government official said it. Yeah, but humans ain't as open as a lot of these liberal and fake progressives act like we are. We're not comfortable with other people taking our food out our mouths. But every gangbanger on the streets of America out here, yo, try to sell on their block. That's why y'all fools is hypocrites. You're hypocrites. You're liars, bro. You out here hustling because I know every black dude in America let some other gang or let some other crew hustle on your block, and it ain't even your block. It ain't even your block. And look at watch what they do. Watch what they do. Watch the lengths they will go. They everything gone for daring to hustle on the block that I hustle on. But you have no problem with people from other countries coming and hustling on the block, on your taking your whole neighborhood, in your hospitals, in your schools, taking away your free summer school programs, your free work programs in the summer. You're giving away slots to their children. You okay with that? But you will never let another black person come sell illegal products on your block. That you go to war over. But someone taking your health care, someone taking your food, someone taking your job, someone taking your land, that's okay because they black. Hypocrites, hypocrites, idiots, can't be helped. I don't even usually talk to them. That's the best thing I could do. Black people, we have to learn this. We're going to have to separate, honestly. We're going to have to separate. We're going to really have to exclude the idiots in our group. We used to do that. We used to do that. And it worked because we've always had idiots, low IQ idiots in our group. We just never gave them microphones. That's the difference. Now, because of these phones, everybody got their own personal mic. So we gotta they get to talk. But we need to start blocking them. We need to start ignoring them. We need to start checking them, telling them how idiotic they are. That's what I do. But I'm the coon. I'm the sellout. So let's see here. So rather than challenge the failure, hey, I'm in total agreement with you. Okay, let's see here. What else? So this has reached a point where South African hospital. Same thing in America. Same thing in America. Same thing in New York City and Brooklyn. Any black. And let me tell you this in South Africa. This is affecting not the rich white people in New York City. This is affecting the poor black Americans, the poor Spanish Americans, the poor Asian Americans. We already poor in these neighborhoods, and they throw in a million new poor people and they put them in the same school. They take the same hospital resources. They compete for the same welfare. They compete for the same rent vouchers to get reduced rent. And black Americans have been duped into this belief that like because they're black from another country that we're brothers, we're sisters. I don't know these people. I've never met these people. I don't know the language they speak. I don't eat the foods that they eat. I don't dress the way they dress. There's nothing in common with me and these people that this Democratic Party is telling me I'm supposed to accept with open arms. There's nothing about them except the color of my skin. That's it. Are you serious? You really want me to rock off the color of my skin? Is that you're my brother? You know how many dudes the color of my skin has robbed me in life, stolen from me, took my girl in a dirty way. You know how many dudes have done that? Most of the people who have hurt me in life has been people that look exactly like me. If I had 100 people that hurt me in life in a sincere way, 95 of them were of my complexion. But you want me to be worried about the boogeyman, the man that I ain't even dealing with. Maybe he's hurting me on this big level. But sometimes things are so big, I don't worry about it. But I do worry about going from A to B, getting from home to work, going to the laundromat, going to the store without some YN or some hoodlum or some ghetto ratchet woman starting some type of drama to get me caught up in. Okay, I can't control geopolitics. I can't control economic finance. I can't control the stock market. I can't control government executive orders. But I darn sure think I can control homeless dudes in front of my building. I darn sure like to believe I could control, have some say over drug dealers and gangbangers hanging out in front of my building, harassing my children, harassing the old people, harassing the people going forth and back and forth to work. That's something I think should at least be within my power. But no, you want to worry about big global geo and you want to ignore the things that make your life hard every day. That's how silly we've become. But I agree with you, CNN, YouTube. We have the same exact issues. Hospitals, something happened. Okay, let's go on. Let's see what else. The same pressures are being felt in school. South Africa. I'm here speaking in I'm in Florida now, but New York City is the same everywhere in America. I'm speaking to someone in South Africa. We're both expressing the same sentiments about illegal and legal. Let's do that now. I'm tired of like chickening out and saying illegal. To keep it real, we don't want the legal either anymore. The legal ain't helping either. Let's just say it out loud. We got in America, listen, and when I say illegal, that doesn't mean I only want one group of people because let's keep it real. America's already a melting pot of people. Growing up in New York City all my life, I've been around all kinds of groups of people. I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm saying stop it right there. Like we don't need any new more. We don't need any new ones. We got enough variety and multicultural. We have enough. We don't have to keep adding more and more and more. We can stop where we're at. We're so multicultural already. There's no way in a place in our country you're really gonna just be like racist in that type of way. It's just too many other groups. And we already know how to galvanize around each other. What my thing is, now we're bringing in people from other religions where it gets deep. You see, having a different language and this and that, maybe we can get around that, but having different gods, that's going to be a hard one to get along with, people. But you young people don't even believe in God. And it doesn't matter if you believe in God. You got to remember, God is like your gang. Whether you want to hear that, I'm going to tell you that too. Your country, your God, your community, that's your gang, fool. It's amazing to me. So many young people understand why you can't be a Crip and turn blood, but they don't understand why you can't be a Christian and turn Muslim. Make that make sense to me. Why? How is it easy to? Why is it harder to go Crip blood than Christian Muslim to you? Whether capitalism works or not, that's what I know. That's my gang. I'm with the capitalist gang. I don't know no other gang. I'm not trying to go dance around with you socialists. Y'all, from what I heard, y'all weird. From what I hear, y'all weird. I don't want to dance around with you Marxists and stuff. From what I've seen, everyone that's in y'all gang, I don't like the way y'all move already. So I know I ain't gonna fit in over there. My gang is my gang. My gang is capitalist, Western philosophy, Christian nation. That's my gang. And the same way you won't go Crip to blood or blood to Crip, I ain't going Christian to Muslim. It ain't happening. Not on my watch. If we're going to get down, we're going to get down, which I think we are eventually. And guess what? This ain't going to be black versus white. This is going to be that gang versus that gang. Guess what? A lot of black people going to be on both sides of the gang. We ain't all going to be with like these dudes. Like, that's why I try to tell them, man, you're not my brother. You're not my brother. Listen, every black person out there, you're not my brother unless you're my brother through the way we live our life. You're not my brother just because you black. Bro, I don't care nothing about you, brother, because you black. I swear on everything I love, I could care less about what happens to you, just like I assume you feel the same about me. Now, if we brothers in Christ, if we brothers in other ways, then the bond gets stronger. But just random you walking down the block, you black, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if we walk down and you fall into a manhole. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to feel bad. I'm going to eat. I'm going to wake up. That's why I hate all of this. What do we call it? This where you just go out there and try to act like you care about everything. Kind of like what the Democrats have made famous, acting like they care for everything. Virtue signaling. That's what they do. The virtue signaling. Okay, let's see here. What else? TNN. Okay, this is why it's been. And I'm totally in agreement. Let's see the last one from TNN. Hey, thank you for throwing some questions. I appreciate you for helping me keep my live going, man. The government has also been extremely lax when it comes to. God damn it, we all doing the same thing. It sounds like TNN. We having the same problems. You all the way in South Africa, me all the way in America. We having the same problem with the same people. And when I say the same people, meaning just people from war-torn, crappy countries that just are looking for a better place. And sadly, my government and the corporations have agreed that my neighborhood is the better place for them. So here we are in the diaspora wars, the FBA versus the world, the globe. And I'm going to keep this real too, man. I said it to you. We do need to vote Donald Trump. I know you won't because you fools just want to be angry. You're not pro-black. You're just anti-white. That's one of my new things. You're not pro-black. You're anti-white. Okay. You don't want to be. You don't want a black nation of power and strength. You just want a bunch of angry black women and men and suspect men yapping about white supremacy all day, indoctrinating your children into what kind of cowards you are, what kind of cowards we have become. Frederick Douglass ain't speak about white supremacy as much as you clowns are. You clowns out here, every other word is white supremacy, man. I didn't even hear people really living under white supremacy speaking about it as much as y'all. Y'all might as well be the Klan. I don't even see the Klan talking about white supremacy. All I see is a bunch of emotional, soft, weak Negroes, weak hood dudes, prison educated dudes coming out here talking about white supremacy. That ain't why you losing, bro. That ain't why you losing. Your mama, your daddy, your grandma, your grandpa, why you losing. Same reason why I be losing. I be losing. I'm not sitting here like I'm a winner. I fight to be a winner. You guys just give it up to white supremacy. You don't even fight no more. This is why I don't respect y'all. This is why I don't unite with y'all. This is why, even under the FBA thing, all you're going to have is a bunch of angry Pan Africanists. All you got to do is say sorry to them. All you got to do is say sorry. Listen, you Pan Africans, you like the Haitians, all you got to do is kiss their behinds a little bit. They'll forgive you. They're not really angry. They don't even got the intelligence to be angry. A lot of these dudes. Okay, they're not, because they're not reacting from intelligence, they're reacting from emotions. So all you got to do is stroke their egos, they'll be friends with you again. But guess what? I'll still be fighting to stop all this madness. What we talking about? Let's see. Hey, oh, my man, Warrior Clan, what's up? What we talking about here? Some socialists, all Marxists, globalists, alphabet goofies are part of. Yeah, man. That's why I know it's like this is the one part where me and the FBA and everybody. I know it's a system. It's not by accident. You don't just become this by accident. This doesn't just happen by accident. This is a well planned out operation that is bigger than Joe Schmo, me and you walking around on the streets arguing on the internet. I get it. And I do. And I'm going to go back to you, Warrior Clan, because you know something? We both right on this. That group I will never say out loud. I'll never say their name out loud for fear, because I fear for my life. I'm scared. I'm scared of the repercussions of ever saying their name out loud. I blame them a lot of ways for this. I blame them for this. They're the main ones pushing a lot of this. They've been pushing this since the Harlem Renaissance and the Great Depression. Same group. I used to date one of them. Hey, watch your mouth, Coles. Don't, hey, watch your mouth, Coles. You trying to get us all, you trying to get us all unalive here, bro? What's wrong with you? Don't ever say their name. I told you that crap. Don't ever say their name, bro. I'll have to block. Bro, listen, guys. Yo, guys. I don't know that guy. I don't know him. I don't know him, man. I don't know him. I don't know this dude. I don't know this dude, but I hate him too. All right, just make sure you leave me alone. I do not know who this dude is, man. I am a friend. I don't want no smoke. No smoke. I see what you did to Kanye, bro. Bro, I'm broke already, bro. Like you can't. I don't know. If you do me like Kanye, bro, I'm gonna be like you're gonna have to dig me under the ground, bro, alive. Not even. That's how broke I am. No. We do not say names here, people. Everybody else can get it. Anybody else can get it. Anybody else. Black, white, Asian. But that one group. Don't say their name, bro. All right? But yeah, that group that I can never say their name and I can never disrespect because they are the greatest in the world. That group right there, boy, they've been really like monkey hustling us, boy. Like that. I'm telling you, these business opportunities. I remember in hip hop growing up. I remember in hip hop, man. We used to be mad at the Grammys, man. Remember when Fresh Prince was winning all the Grammys? They were winning all the Grammys, and all the black dudes in the streets was like, yo, bro, that ain't real. That ain't real, bro. That ain't real hip hop. Well, we don't get to decide what's real hip hop. The people I can never mention, they get to decide, along with some, along with some of them. They get to decide what's hip hop. They get to decide what's the culture. What's some of the hottest shows on TV right now, man? What? Kanan, 50 Cent. I love 50 Cent. That's my dude, but he's a capitalist for sure. That's what I'm saying. We capitalists out here, bro. We American capitalists, just like the white boys. I don't know why some of you black fools think you African, where you more closer to the white boys from Europe and the capitalists out here than you ever gonna be with some Africans, bro. Even the Africans are trying to be like that, but you over here running around like, yo, I ain't know what, I ain't doing that America thing, get money. But yet, that's all you think being an American is getting money. Like, it's so confusing sometimes being in my culture because it's like so many different random thoughts that counter each other. I don't know. It's like get money, but don't get money. You can't get money if you don't know the system, but the system is racist, so don't learn the system. So like, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I know that they control this. And I know that y'all believe that women can be warriors because some movie exec did a movie because they made the Hulk. They brought the She-Hulk on TV. Y'all now believe women are Hulks. I know they brought some 60-year-old black woman that told you she was a women warrior and she was chopping African people's heads off at wars and she was like leading the charge. I know y'all believe that because the movie showed you. I know you believe in Vikings. The shield maidens were up there in the front getting busy with Viking men and they were battling. There was these shield maiden women and they were like taking out 10 men. I know you believe that. You believe that. You believe that because they did a movie, right? Right? Yoda is real. Yoda is real. You should listen to everything he says. What he tells you, size don't matter. Go pick a fight with a big man and then go talk to Yoda. Go fight. Go pick a fight with a man 100 pounds heavier than you and go talk to Yoda. Then tell me about what Yoda said. You see, that's where I blame that group that I can never say out loud, man. Yo, if anybody's watching, man, I only see like 4 people, man. Y'all haters, bro. Where's the love, man? We over here talking about some real stuff, man. I'm about to go talk to the goofies on TikTok. Go talk to the goofies on TikTok, man. But that group right there, man, they're the ones who decide what's hip hop. And now what's hip hop? Sexy Red, all my. Well, okay, I don't even know the song. What is it? The sexy, not Sexy Red, the Young Miami. Spin that, spin that, spin that. Yeah, that. Who you think allows the Miami girls and the Sexy Reds and all? What do you think allows them on TV? That group I can never name. What's going on in Africa, man? What's up? It's honestly terrifying. What's terrifying? What happened? You aren't even joking when you say you believe that because they absolutely. It's honestly terrifying that you aren't even joking when you say you believe that because they absolutely. They do. They do. No, it's terrifying. Listen, I don't know what to do anymore. Honestly, man. Like I don't know what to do. Like everything is terrifying now in 2026, man. Like these new young millennials and these Gen Zers, they sociopaths. We got a new batch of YNs that got no like they just off the chain, man. Raised by single mothers and goofy fathers and prison boyfriends. Like we got a whole no grandmothers, no grandmas. Grandma been gone, grandpa been gone. So it is like nothing really of guidance left. The churches are all turned up. The churches are all liberals. The churches are all Democrats. They wanted you could come dress, you could come pop it, twerk it, do all of that in church, and the preacher's gonna be like, "Amen, amen." The court system's all in favor of ghetto moms and single moms. We're pushing that angle. Prison fathers. That's who we protect. We got a bunch of rappers and gangsters telling us like, "Yo, don't snitch, yo, yo." The black rule is no snitching. How you gonna let a criminal tell you not to tell on him? How you listening to a criminal tell you not to tell on him as he robs you? Be like, "Yo, bro, you gonna tell him? You gonna tell that I robbed you? Oh, you a snitch, bro? You robbing me, bro? What do you want me to do? I'm supposed to like just let you rob me, or what? Go get my joint, unalive you, and go to court, go to jail with a bunch of you? Like what? You see, bro? This is what we do. This is what we do. It's not. It's done. It's a wrap. This is why my point is, it's over. It's over. Blackness is over in America. We were the last group. I mean, and I don't mean blackness as in a color. I mean as in a culture. See, other people are they're Nigerian, they're African, they're Egyptian, they're Somalian. We black. We black. That's it. We black. I'm a black American, but I'm black. I'm black. That's I'm the last group, bro. I'm like a rare painting. I'm an endangered species. Wave to the last one. Everything you're gonna see, like I'm 51 years old. Everything younger than me is not really that. It's not. There's no tea. There's no tea, ladies. There's no tea. But this is all weird. This is all weird culture. This is all modernization and blending and mixing and hip hop and internet. This ain't black. So I'm just here to hey, I'm the last my grouping, not me personally, but my grouping of like 50, I'd say like 45 and up. We're the last group that you're ever going to see to represent everything you used to think about when you thought about blacks, whether it was James Brown, whether it was Frederick Douglass, whether it was Booker T. Washington, whether it was Martin Delaney, whether it was Michael Jackson, whether it was Prince, whether it was Michael Jordan, whether it was and whatever thing you can think of that makes you think of blackness and its glory in America. Meet the last generation, people. That is a fact. Let's see here. The same person robbing you demands your loyalty, and they get it. And they get it. And they get it. And yet we think we like tough, and that's the part that blows my mind. So, okay, Cole? What up, Cole? Hey, Cole, hey, don't do that again. Let's see here. What you talking about, Cole? So you don't think the culture can change? Yes, I think it could change. It can get worse. It can get worse. I don't think it can change for the better. No. If that's let's redefine. Let's more define this question. Let's put it in the proper context. Yeah, the culture can change. It's already changed. That's what I'm on this internet complaining about. It's changed so much to something I don't even recognize already. And we wanted it. We thought the change would be beneficial. Like I was saying earlier, when rappers were begging, when Nas and Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and all the street rappers, the dudes we really loved in hip hop, when they couldn't win an award at the Grammys, when they couldn't get that Will Smith money or that that commercial money, what did we do as Black Americans? We complained, we whined, and we begged to be part of the system. Same thing we did with civil rights, thinking that somehow we would get a cut. But what we really did ignorantly is we put ourselves under the guise of that system. Now we want that Grammy every year, so now we do what we told. See, we had freedom. We may not have had as much money as we wanted, but we had freedom. Same thing with the Negro League in baseball. Anything we've had control of, or we sold it out for more money. But we never connected the dots that more money comes more responsibility. What did Biggie say? More money, more problems? But yeah, I think it's just a rap line. It's actually truth to it. We were never satisfied with creating something that was grassroots, keeping it grassroots, living off it within ourselves. We always tried to break to the upper groups. We never held on. We never just stood on 10 because we've always been greedy ourselves, and that's human nature. So what did we do? We sold our own culture out to the executives, to the people I can never name. We sold ourselves. We went running to them. We went begging them. Don't get it twisted. They're going to act like, no, they didn't steal it. We gave it to them for an extra $5. Instead of making 50,000 a year off your craft, you wanted to make 100,000, but you gave away 1 million in rights, and you thought you won. But how do you teach people that don't want to be taught? There's so much like there's such arrogance now. Everybody's right. Everybody knows what they're doing. Everyone's a scholar. Everyone's smart. Yet you can't see it, but if you let them talk, they'll tell you. So Cole, New Jersey, yeah, the culture will change. It will get worse before it gets better. The only thing that can save the culture is honestly, we need a catastrophe. We need a war. We need not a real war, not one of these ones we've been doing. We need a real war. We need the economy to drop. We need everybody. We need life to get back to where you appreciate the simple things. See, Americans, and this is where I don't like us. We're like entitled white boys, yet we always talking about the entitled white boys. We just like them. I say that proudly. Embrace yourself, black man. You are not an African. You are not a Caribbean. You are an American. You are bougie, elite, elitist. That's our country. And I embrace it. Even while I'm not really it, because I don't got no money. I'm broke. But I do live in the richest country in the world. And I do, even being broke, I live pretty nice for even being broke. I got a career, I got a job, I do well. Even while being completely broke and in debt and like spiritually sunken, all of that. I'm still living better than 90% of the world is living with no money, with no real money. So we beg these people to get more money, to have more power, and we sold our souls for it. Now we in a contract with the devil, and it's going to be forever. The devil don't make 10-year contracts. His contracts are lifetime contracts. So all of these people, they're gonna fall victim. Listen, I'm not a super duper religious man, but I tell you what, man, you can't tell me that whoever that the stories in them Bibles ain't telling us about like how we really are as humans. Because I see the same thing happen today. When I look around the population, go downtown on a Friday, Saturday night. Tell me that don't look like when Moses was coming down the mountain with the commandments and all the people that I will never say their name. New Jersey, never say their name. Those people were down there partying, having freak offs. Well, way before Puff, they were doing freak offs, but way before Puffs. I'm talking about in biblical, ancient BC times. These dudes were having freak offs, parties out in the woods, fires burning, all kinds of nasty business going on, nasty work. Boy, them Greeks and them Romans taught them well, boy. They taught them well. Freaks, true freaks. We don't even know how to be freaks like that, Africans. That's what I'm saying. We learn from y'all. Get mad at that. I'm like, hey, man, this is who I am now, man. I learned from the freakiest of the freakies, the Western world, the Greeks and the Romans, the English. True freaks, boy. True freaks. What we talking about? I'm just running. So yeah, I hope I answered your question here, Cole. Let's see here, Warrior King. What we talking about? Warrior Clan, NBA superstar Kyrie Irving. Okay, let's talk about him. I know him. I know him from the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, man. I know all of that. I know his. Let's see what you say here. To stop blacks from using the N word. I wish he would have kept up the website in this fight, but he took it down. Bro, listen, Warrior Clan. I don't know if you an old man like me. I hope you ain't an old man like me, because that's something bro. You can't change these people, bro. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work, bro. The devil's spirit is in them, man. Oh, I wish I could take you on a field trip. I wish I could take you on a field trip through my hood. No doubt, Warrior Clan. I wish I could take you through a field trip to my hood, and I can show you. I work every day with these young boys, trying to show them better ways, and I'm there every day, every day. I'm there showing them good examples, trying to guide them in the right direction. It's not fun. They're not enjoying. They don't. They want to have fun. They want to party. They want to go hang out. They want to do the wild stuff they see on TV. Me telling them, yo, you got to work hard, go home and study, do your push ups in the morning, get strong. If you want to play basketball, you want to play football, you got to get strong every day. You got to like cut friends off. You can't go chasing girls. That's not fun. That's not fun. Who wants to do that if you have a choice? Wouldn't you rather go hang out with all the bad little ratchet chicks, hang out with the baddies, get drunk with the hood dudes, just be cool? Wouldn't you rather do that? Who wouldn't rather do that? So if you think you're gonna tell a bunch of young dudes to like do the right thing in this culture, it ain't gonna really happen. What's up over here, South Africa? Oh God, oh, you trying to get me upset. You brought Oprah Winfrey up today. Yeah, but here's the problem. Let me show that. Yeah, Oprah. You know, I could do a whole live on Oprah. And just that generation of Bill Cosby. Because Oprah's a piece of trash, okay? She works for them globalist elitists that I despise, and she works directly for the group I will never say out loud their name. She's been doing their bidding her whole career, and it's worked marvelously for her. Not so much for us. She spent her whole career working for YT women, middle class YT women, upper class, degrading black men, black culture for most of her existence. And I'm not even saying she's wrong. I'm just saying that's how she made her money. So what does the N word mean? No, she's a bougie kind of elite black, one of these elite black college type people that they actually do more harm than good, even when they're saying the right things. So the messaging is right, but the person, it's just not the right messenger. There's a lot of people who have been telling us to do the right things, but they're not the right people. They're not good people, and the people know it. So it almost gives the people permission to do the opposite. When you have people we don't respect come give us ideas and rules, it almost gives us permission to do the opposite. That's just my opinion about Oprah. Because there's nothing Oprah could ever have said at any point in her life that a man like me would have taken seriously. It might have tempted me, knowing what I think I know about her, feeling the way I feel about her spirit, what she works for, what she stands for, who she works for. I would never take her in a way where I would take her seriously. I would never. Oprah ain't man. Oprah, man. I don't even know if she was ever with us to sell out. Honestly, I want to keep it real with you, bro. I don't. To sell out, you have to be down at some point. I think Oprah is always from like the Oprah Winfrey Show when she was a journalist for WGN in Chicago. Remember, people? Listen, you're right. There was a time. There was a time, man, but that had to be young Oprah, like in her 20s, just like trying to be a journalist, trying to be a news anchor. And but once she met that man who represents that group that I could never say out loud, once she met him, the one that went to prison for all them things, y'all know who I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? I don't even want to say his name. I'm that scared, bro. I'm so scared to say his name. But he got, remember the Weinstein guy, Harvey? That's her man. Harvey been hooking her up from the beginning, if y'all don't know. Harvey been hooking her up since the Oprah Winfrey Show early. Since Color Purple, she been doing the bidding for these type of dudes, man. So I don't even know if she sold out, man. If she sold out, man, Oprah got to be like 70 now. So if she sold out by like 30. She was already, so she been like 40 years. 40 years is Oprah, the Oprah we know, and she ain't never been pro-black. She's been elite. And you know what? I kind of miss them too. I miss them elites. Matter of fact, speaking of elites, I got all my books. Let me get something real quick. Speaking of elites, where is my book? Make me go get another book, y'all. Y'all making me go get books. You see, we need to bring this back. See, this is something that we don't talk about much. This is, I don't know if you can see it. Original, the original black elites. And I'm going to just read the little back cover of it. The original black elite is a compelling biography of Daniel Murray and the writer scholar W.E.B. Du Bois called the Talented Tenth. This is the black elite. In his work, Elizabeth Dowling Taylor deftly demonstrates how the struggle for racial equality has been complicated by the thorny issue of class. Elizabeth Downing Taylor riveting and timely story of black politicos and professionals, their joys, their passions, blazing a trail of equity and excellence in the nation's capital, reminds us all too prophetically how fragile racial progress has been in the American history. In this new post-Obama era, the original black elite is a cautionary tale that is forgotten, of a forgotten era of the first black elites in the highest corridors of power and influence. Why I bring this up? Because again, it's complicated. We talking about Oprah, black elites. What's their role? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is class important? These are all interesting questions that we've allowed a bunch of Marxists to answer for us. We're not answering this as black people. We're answering this listening to AOC and Ilhan Omar and Bernie sellout Sanders. These are the people who are trying to teach me, the Gemini, with all of these books on the floor. I got dozens, they're all on the floor, all these books, all this knowledge, all this experience. And I'm going to listen to who? AOC, Ilhan Omar. I might have listened to Bernie, but he sold out on me. So, and again, if we want to just look through a little bit, some of the black elites. Now, remember, again, you can't knock history. History is history. It happened. You can't take it, can't go back and redo it. Proximity to whiteness has always been a thing in a country dominated by white people. I don't say that out of racism. It just makes sense. If I go to an Arab country, Islam is going to be the dominant society. I'm going to have to adapt to it. So, yeah, it's sad that most of the elites definitely looked white. There's definitely a connection with being elite and being lighter skinned and more white. But there were exceptions of black people who were dark skinned that became elite. But most of them did look white. And yes, America has a racist historical past. But look at, I don't know if you can see this gentleman. Make no mistake, that's a black man. Whether he looked white or not, his soul, he always got to wake up, and whatever he sees in that mirror, he knows what's like. He's black on the inside of that mirror. Can you imagine the trauma of dealing with that? And I think that's something that a lot of black Americans are dealing with. This is something, again, W.E.B. Du Bois. Look at these black elites. I don't know if you can see it clearly enough. Maybe you can. I don't know if the glare. Look at these black elites. All look like basically white men, but the trauma of double consciousness. This is exactly what I was arguing about the Haitian Revolution. That the Haitian Revolution was made up of similar men like this, who were mixed with French and African blood. And they become the elites. Just like when I talk about the Latinos and Spanish in Spain, who do you think ran Spain? It was the children of the white Spanish and the native women. It was their children. It was purposely done this way. They were groomed to be leadership. This wasn't by accident. This wasn't a mistake. It was done purposely and intentfully. This has been written down like in How You Conquer a Nation. But see, a lot of black people, just like they look at the institution of slavery in a personal way, not realizing it's not as personal as you think it is. It might have became personal later, but anyway, man. Hey, please like and subscribe to the channel, man. I'm gonna try to come on at least every Sunday and start doing more of my lives and picking a topic, man. TNN at YouTube, please stay with me, man. I thank you for hanging out. I want to talk with you to know what's going on in Africa. I like to be able to talk about what's happening. Maybe you could tell me directly what's happening. I like to keep that connect. Okay. Coles, New Jersey, shout outs to you for keeping the live going, keeping the chat going. Like, subscribe to the channel, and don't say that name no more. You almost got me in trouble. Warrior Clan, shout outs to you, bro. Shout outs to you. Thank you, TNN YouTube. No, I seriously want to talk to you about what's going on in South Africa. We got to get that going. I'm a teacher, so I'll be starting work in a week, but I'm going to try to get on here every Sunday, and I'd like to, maybe we could catch up and figure out what's going on your side of the world, and I'll tell you what's going on over here in America. But Warrior Clan, you kept my live going. Shout outs to you, brother, and I appreciate you, man. Please like, subscribe, man. I'm going to hit y'all on the rebound, and try to stay sane this week, people. I feel like it's about to get rough out here in the world. Peace.